Dark Detours Part 2. The night air was thick with an unsettling chill as the four friends stood before the imposing mansion. Its dark windows seemed to watch them, and the ancient wood of the front door groaned in the wind. The car, now eerily silent, seemed to have completed its mission of delivering them here. "Do we really have to do this?" Erin whispered, her voice trembling. "Unless you have a better idea," Jake replied, trying to muster courage. Marco, his face pale, nodded toward the door. "Let's get this over with." With hesitant steps, they approached the mansion. Olivia reached out and pushed the heavy door open, its hinges screaming in protest. Inside, the air was even colder, and a musty scent of decay filled their nostrils. "Stay close," Olivia said, her voice barely above a whisper. She clicked on her flashlight, the beam cutting through the darkness. The foyer was vast and shadowy, with a grand staircase spiraling up into the gloom. Dusty portraits of stern-faced ancestors lined the walls, their eyes seeming to follow the group's every move. A massive chandelier hung overhead, its crystals dulled by years of neglect. "Where do we even start?" Marco asked, glancing around nervously. The radio crackled to life again, its voice now emanating from a nearby antique console. "The spirit resides on the second floor, in the room at the end of the hall." "Great," Jake muttered, "because upstairs in a haunted mansion is exactly where I wanted to be tonight." They ascended the staircase, each step creaking ominously under their weight. At the top, a long hallway stretched out before them, lined with more portraits and closed doors. The atmosphere was suffocating, the air heavy with unspoken secrets. "The room at the end," Olivia reminded them, her voice steady despite the fear gripping her heart. They made their way down the hall, their footsteps echoing in the oppressive silence. As they reached the final door, a sudden chill swept through the corridor, causing them to shiver uncontrollably. "This is it," Erin whispered, her breath visible in the cold air. With a trembling hand, Olivia turned the knob and pushed the door open. The room beyond was shrouded in darkness, the only light coming from their flashlights. It was a bedroom, untouched by time, with a large canopy bed draped in tattered curtains. In the center of the room stood a figure, barely discernible in the dim light. It was a woman, her form ghostly and translucent, her eyes filled with sorrow. Who are you?" Jake asked, his voice barely audible. The spirit looked up, her eyes locking onto his. "I am Eleanor," she said, her voice a haunting melody. "I've been trapped here for centuries, bound by a curse. Only by your hand can I be set free." "What do we need to do?" Olivia asked, stepping forward. The ghost pointed to a small, ornate box on the nightstand. "Within that box is a locket. It must be placed on my resting place in the family cemetery. Only then will I be released." Erin picked up the box, opening it to reveal the locket inside. It was a delicate piece, tarnished with age but still beautiful. The family cemetery, it must be somewhere on the property. "Let's get this done," Marco said, his voice firmer now, spurred by a sense of purpose. They retraced their steps down the hall and back to the front door. Outside, the night was darker than before, the moon hidden behind thick clouds. They navigated around the mansion, their flashlights barely piercing the darkness. At the edge of the property, they found the cemetery, its headstones worn and weathered by time. "Which one is hers?" Erin asked, scanning the graves. The radio, still inexplicably with them, crackled to life once more. "Her grave is marked with the family crest." They searched the headstones until they found it, a large stone engraved with an intricate crest. Olivia knelt and gently placed the locket on the grave. The air around them seemed to hum with energy, and a soft glow enveloped the headstone. "Thank you," Eleanor's voice echoed around them, filled with gratitude. "I am free." The glow intensified, then faded, leaving the cemetery in silence. The oppressive weight lifted, and a sense of peace settled over the group. "Let's get back to the car," Jake suggested, his voice light with relief. As they returned to the car, the radio crackled again. "One spirit set free. There are others who need your help. Your journey is far from over." The friends exchanged glances, realizing that their road trip had taken a turn they never could have imagined. With a mixture of trepidation and determination, they climbed back into the car, ready to face whatever haunted detours lay ahead.